Wait, first of all, thank you very much for doing this. We are very glad to have you here on this cruise. But I've got to ask you, could this have really been true? Sister Yvette Marie, you wanted to be a nun?
Well, it probably would have been Sister Yvette Marie Wan. Or something. Yeah, when I was younger, I went to Catholic school. And of course, you get imprinted on that stuff when you're a kid, and it was some strong medicine
Yeah.
they're putting down. Yeah.
Did you ever wish you had gone that route? You look back and, like yesterday and go like, oh.
So like I regret it?
Yeah.
You're asking me, did I regret it?
No, not regret it. That's different than wish you'd gone down.
No, I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I believe that, the belief in God is bigger than religion. It's just my humble opinion.
Do you and if I can ask, how do you express your belief? Do you express your belief in God through your music?
Yes, that's one of the ways. I do express. I do pray, and another way I look at the church as my cathedral. The world, I meant, not the church. The world is
right.
My cathedral, and it works for me.
Your ability to spread love is and the feeling of that is wonderful. Is your prayer musical? I'm just curious. Is your prayer musical?
When I'm singing, they are.
Right. Yeah. What's the first music you remember? What's the first music that you remember?
Probably it's one of two things. Either Peter and the Wolf with the London Philharmonic, or I don't know, maybe Etta James or something.
Was that because it was in the
house.
in the house?
my parents played a lot of music. Multi-genre music family.
What was the first album that you bought that you on your own said
Led
I
Zeppelin.
want that? Really? Which Led Zeppelin?
Absolutely.
Which one? Do you remember which one?
The first one, just the first.
Oh, the first Led Zeppelin.
First Led Zeppelin album is called Led Zeppelin.
What was it about that, given everything else that was out that time? Because that's about is that 60, 70, 71?
Late 60s or 70s.
Yeah, yeah.
70s.
What was it about that sound that attracted you, given all the other stuff that was out at the time?
John Bonham.
Yeah. Drums.
Oh, I was real drunk, I was a real drum fanatic, and I loved the whole vibe, their whole vibe. I loved their chord changes, Stephen used to,
Is there any of Robert Plant's voice in what you do? Or was it really just kind of the sound of the music?
No, we're two different types of
All right.
entertainers.
All right, so rock, jazz, R&B, country. Mm-hmm. Like, kind of list them in the kind of the music you like or you that really affects you. Rock, jazz, R&B, country.
Jazz.
Jazz first.
Country. R&B.
R&B and rock.
Rock, yeah. And then Chinese music.
Really?
Yeah.
Chinese music from when you were younger or Chinese?
Only kidding you, for Christ's sake.
I'd have gone with it. I'd have gone with it. All right. I watched an interview of you earlier. They asked you to sing. I'm not going to do that, but I was intrigued by what you chose to sing. I Don't Know Why I Love You by Stevie Wonder.
I chose that to sing at one point.
Yeah, yeah. What is it? Talk about your relationship with Stevie Wonder and how that started.
Well, like I guess most kids, I heard him on the radio. And this one song, I was in love at the time with a guy named Albert Donnelly. And I guess we were about sixth grade, seventh grade. And every time the song came on, my heart, my stomach used to hurt, and that was, And then I used to also imagine this blind guy trying to communicate how he felt, and I felt sort of like him.
And then, of course, your first huge hit was written by Stevie Wonder.
Absolutely.
Tell me something good. Now, how did you
I
get
didn't
that song
arrange
to you?
that. I did not arrange it.
No.
Ooh, kind
And,
of
not- and,
loud.
not- and neither did Albert Donnelly. So that's for him.
I don't even. I hope he's still alive. As you are, Albert. um,
So how did Tell Me Something Good come to you? With
what
Stevie
happened
Wonder?
was that we worked with a producer named Bob Monaco, and he was the first guy that really like believed in us as a group, and you know he even took pocket money to get us into places to be played. He was a really true good guy, and I think his big break was being able to produce us. He signed us to ABC Dunhill Records, which no longer
Bought by MCA.
yeah, right?
Yeah, a long time ago.
And he came on as our producer as well. But the thing is, he never did really produce the band. We all produced our own stuff. But I was maybe 8.5 pregnant, months pregnant with my daughter, and he asked the band, "Would you guys like to meet Stevie Wonder tomorrow night?" We're like, "Yeah, right, Bob." You know,
You don't know no Stevie Wonder.
Please. Sure enough, we were at our studio the next night, and Stevie Wonder came in.
With that song, or did he
No,
vibe
he
with
came. We talked. Everybody was, genuflecting and everything, and going crazy, and he was trying to find me to feel me. He's a very sensual man like that. So when he did finally find me, and my belly was about to burst, he said, "Oh, I got the song for you." I said, "Oh, let's hear it. Let's do it."
And you liked it immediately, or like,
I was. Well, he played 2 songs. The first one he played, I did not like. I said, "I don't like that one." So he said, "Wait a minute, what's your birth sign?" I told him my birth sign. He says, "Okay, I got a song for you."
and he knew by your birth sign.
Well,
Happy early birthday! Your birthday's later this month, so happy birthday.
yes.
Early birthday.
You know, they get as you get older. It's like, ooh.
Sorry, don't remind you. So that song is a song you seem to perform. I've seen you a number of times over the years. Does that song ever leave your set? Does Tell Me Something Good ever leave your set?
You betcha.
It does.
I have to. I'll go cuckoo. 40 years of singing one song will kind of kill you. So you have to. We found clever ways of like incorporating other songs in that are similar, or clever ways of doing the song, or cleverly making it shorter.
Is there any song at all that's never left your set? In like once it became a hit, you're like, oh, it's every show that you've done. Is there any song?
No, darling.
No.
That started in the 80s. It's never left my set. You mean it's never left for my whole
Yeah,
career?
you sing every show. If there's ever a song
Since
like
the beginning of my career.
no, or since it became a hit.
Oh, you were right. Excuse me. Yes, excuse me, sis, you're right. And, this kind of song you grow into. When I first sang it, I was like, how dare I sing lyrics like, I'm every woman. What do I mean by that? So Arif, my producer, said, don't worry, my darling, you'll grow into it, you'll see. And it's funny, now these days, I get it. I get it. There are a lot of songs one has to grow into. One does grow into.
It's an empowering song. I watched as you sang it last night, and just the energy goes up a notch, especially among women. Do you sing it? You say you switch songs out. Do you keep that one in there because you see that energy? You know what kind of energy you're going to get, when that song's...
Well, it's a statement, you know, and I don't want it to be necessarily a feminine statement. I want it to be a statement for all souls, you know. As we're all X and Y's, so I just say if the X doesn't get it in you, maybe the Y will hit you, you know. It's you know, but it's really an empowering song, like you said, and I think the power overrides the sexuality. To me, I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Oh, sexuality. I never thought of sexuality in I'm Every Woman.
Well, a lot of guys have.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Another one I have to talk about is "Sweet Thing," only because even though it is another song that's been a hit for a long time, there was a version you did of it last night. I never heard the Jamaican lilt in "Sweet Thing" until you did it last night.
Well, we had to do something, didn't we? After all.
But it sounded so natural. It sounded like it was intended when you and Tony wrote it.
Yeah, it's a natural for you know, a reggae song. It is, truly is. You know, everyone ends up really singing the song along with me, so I thought it'd be more funner if we did it, you know, reggae, and you know, and everybody would be people would be more, you know, compelled to get up and dance, and so. Yeah,
no, the first time I heard it, I was like, and it sounded like it was so natural there. We talked about "I'm Every Woman" and "Sweet Thing," two songs that actually were covered by other people. My friend, as a matter of fact, was singing the Mary J. Blige version, like the inflections in that, and I kind of said, no, Chaka song, Chaka song. Do you enjoy it when people cover your song?
What song was that?
"Sweet Thing."
Oh.
"Sweet Thing." She sings it just a little bit different, and so people sing.
I don't care. You know, she can cover my songs all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I'm getting that money.
Yeah.
Good shit. Cover my song.
A thing speaking of, I enjoy, because I've seen it go the other way, is that you were extremely supportive of people who, who have influenced you and who you influence, right? I may or may not have like looked at you on Instagram and seen the people like you talk about who are like you had a nice post about Anita Baker. You had a picture with Bobby Christina the other day. And it's good to see that support. As a matter of fact, one of your most recent Grammy was with Mary J. Blige for Disrespectful, wasn't it?
You know what? I didn't even know that won a Grammy.
What?
I swear before Jesus.
I'm sorry. You're just hearing this from me just now?
No, I heard it for the first time 3 days ago, and that's why I'm not freaking out right now.
Okay. Do Grammys still when you get accolades, when people come to you? Well, let's go with the Grammys first.
It's
when
not
you get
a big deal when I get a Grammy anymore. I mean, it was. I remember, you know, my friends and family used to like go ape stuff, and I had to think about it, you know, about this Grammy thing, you know. For me, and the way I see it is that it has become a competition of sorts between artists, and with self-expression, there is no such thing as competition. You know, true art is unto the individual. It's your individual expression of you know what you feel, and so it's sort of a dichotomy, and I don't see them. So it took a lot of. It made me feel a lot better about the whole situation. Either way, you know, I'm honored to get one. You dig?
But you get just as much.
My mommy likes it better. She likes it more.
Does she keep?
All at her house.
Yeah, that's what I figured. All right, good. We are talking to Chaka Khan, and we'll be right back after this. What? This is All Access.
Wow. Thank you.
We are talking with the one and only Chaka Khan, who I've been fortunate enough to be work with the BET Awards since the beginning, and you are an integral part and central part of one of my favorite moments. No, my favorite moment we've ever had, which was 2006. You allowed us to honor you at the BET Awards, and it had the superstar lineup of tribute. Now, Yolanda Adams, who we were scared to ask, will you do a secular song? We were in the corner, literally in the corner going, should we ask her? I don't know, she's gospel. She came over and said, I would like to swing Sweet Thing if you don't mind. We had, so Yolanda Adams doing Sweet Thing, we had India Ari, we had Stevie Wonder, and we had, who kind of, I'm going to be part of this, I don't care what you say, Prince. Man, Prince was part of it. People ask me my favorite BET Awards moment, and that comes out always because it's just the collection of people on that stage and the collection of people who really wanted to pay tribute to you. Prince, who doesn't really do that for anybody. Yolanda Adams, I think that may be the only time I've ever seen her sing a secular song at all. And so, like, it's just, do you still enjoy it when people who are at the highest level of their artistry look to you, look up to you?
Oh, it's ever an honor. That's like the biggest honor that there is, you know, is what's the word? Is someone duplicating you or attempting to duplicate in some way what you do, your art or your whatever. Someone who wants to do you. I'm honored as all get out. I can't say I'm happy about all of them, but I'm honored that because it takes kahunas. I know it. You know, it takes some kahunas to do me.
We could go one way or we could do the other right now. If you don't mind, let's talk a bit about your long-lasting relationship with musical relationship with Prince, who honored and adored you. If you don't mind, can you tell me, did you really meet Prince for the first time under the false guise of him imitating Sly? Is that really true? Yes. Can you tell that story, please?
It's the truth. In Marin County, I was hanging out with some friends up in San Francisco, and we were driving a little, it's got a new little yellow Mercedes drop top, and a friend of mine were driving around and having fun, blah, 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 and he calls me on the car phone. I think then we just had car phones. I don't even know if we had, I'm not even sure we had cell phones. But I had a car on my phone. Nice. So he called me, and he was saying, sounded exactly like Prince, because Prince and I were very close too. Not Prince, but Sly rather. And I said, what are you doing? Where are you? He says, I'm in town, down in Marin County. I'm at the studio. I said, oh, fantastic. I said, I'll pop down, you know, because I thought we were going to do some music, you know. So, as it turned out, I go in this dark studio. Excuse me. There's nobody in there. And it got darker and darker. It was like a labyrinth. Sometimes I was kind of scared. And then I heard some music ting, 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 come from a little spot, and I went over there in this one little room that was lit up, you know, in light purple walls, and one little guy in there. Not even an engineer or anybody, just him. And so I said, excuse me, I said, have you seen Sly? Is Sly in the building? He said, no, that was me. So I didn't know whether to, like, you know, say, well, I did commend him. Very good, you know.
Impersonation.
Very well done. But who the hell are you? And what am I doing driving out here in Marin County looking for you? What? He says, well, I'm a musician. I'm going to be the best, you know, best musician in the world. You know, he told me, yes, he did. I just wanted to meet you. So I was kind of pissed. So I said, it was good meeting you. What's your name? Prince. And so that was how we first met.
How did the song "I Feel for You" come to your attention?
Well, after it was during that time, of course, that I met him, and then the album came out, and you know how there comes a time when you feel like an album is sort of like gonna die out enough. They played all the stuff they're gonna play off it. Maybe a new one's coming. Well, I particularly liked "I Feel for You," and so I told Arif Martin, my producer, that I wanted to do it. So we covered it, and we did a really great job that night. And then the next day I came back, and there was Melly Mel rapping on it, which I knew nothing about. He didn't tell me about that. And
Your producer, Arif Martin.
Right.
Just put him on there.
He said, I came in and he says, "I've got a wonderful surprise for you, my darling." I said, I hate surprises. So I was like, okay. When it's there, I hear this guy singing over and over again my name. And, you know, what he wants to do and all that stuff. And I said, the Catholic girl in me came way forward. I was like, oh, my God, what is going to happen? I said, this guy is saying these lurid things about me, and using my voice, it's never going to leave me alone, and it never did. But I'm happy that everyone else felt the way they felt about it. It did set a musical precedent. It did quite a few things. So, you know.
It was the first record to incorporate a rap to be that successful, right?
Yeah, well, with music, yeah.
Yeah. Scale of 1 to 10 being not at all, and 10 being so much you don't believe it. How upset does it make you when people come up to you and introduce themselves? You're Chaka, 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 Chaka. 1, not at all. 10, nuclear.
Nuclear.
10.
I only possess one name that I'm aware of. You know, and I understand where they're coming from. I dig it. It used to really, really get me mad. But for what? It's silly. And, you know, when you think about it, it's just... Until it got on my nerves, and, it didn't get silly. But people, it doesn't happen as much anymore.
Yeah. Here's something that's cool that people usually don't do. Usually, you can name the list of singers that are in a band, then leave a band to go solo, and then just leave the band behind. You kind of did Chaka Khan record, then Rufus record, Chaka Khan record, Rufus record, and then finally, I think I Feel for You was the first one that was like, I'm not doing Rufus no more.
Mm-mm.
Was there something about that camaraderie that and I'm a band guy. I like when people can have solo success and come back to the band. What was it about that collective that really worked for you to go away from and then come back to?
Well, I didn't really come back. I was fulfilling an obligation. There's a big difference.
Got it.
I gotta say,
I was thinking it was for the love.
I'm so sorry. You did take note how they superimposed my picture on the front cover, didn't you? There was a cover, the very last thing I did. I did 2 or 3 songs.
Master Jam?
No, it was. I can't remember the songs.
Stompin' at Savoy had no pictures.
No.
Oh, I know. I can't think of it.
There was the last album that we did, on the early 80s, I think. Yeah. And I was so done, with the whole thing, that I said, I don't have time to take a picture with you guys. We weren't getting along at all. No, darling, that was early on. No, that's when they still had love. And
starts with a C. I can't. Camouflage. Start with a C. Yeah.
Thank you. And yeah.
All right, so you filled it. Okay. All right. I was hoping to.
Anyway, I said, okay, I'll do 2 songs, and I'm out. That's all you want. Just 2 Chaka. So I said, bye. And I said, bye. Then they couldn't find me. I got ghosts like a big dog because they couldn't find me to take a picture with them. So they took a picture and they superimposed it on there. I thought that was hilarious. For me, for them, I'm sure it wasn't that funny a thing, but come on. And it was badly done. You know?
I'd rather hear you. I think of the last one as being Stomping at the Savoy, the live one. That was it was live.
I feel you.
Gave us Ain't Nobody.
I feel you.
Gave us Don't Talk to Strangers.
You're right. And then there was that feeling, that chemistry that made us what we were.
Rufus was a great feeling. It was indeed a great feeling.
It was.
Chaka Khan's a great feeling too. Let's be clear. Chaka Khan is a great feeling.
Well, thank you.
And I think I speak for everybody in this room when I say that listening to Chaka Khan makes us feel warm and excited and some kind of way.
I help you with that.
I appreciate that. Trumpet, guitar. What instrument would you most liken your voice to, or is it different when it goes into different registers?
Well, to be honest, my dad was a bebopper. They called them beatniks back in the day. He was a weed-smoking guy who played congas about in the park and drank wine at night. I guess maybe he didn't have a job. But he used to take my sister and I with him all the time. We were about a year and 6 months apart. And my mother, get pissed off at each other, and he'd say, I'm going to the park. So he'd take his congas and we'd go with him. And it would be like nighttime. The lightning bugs were out. It was so cool. And a lot of kids would be running around. And it'd be about 20 guys playing some magical congas. Amazing stuff. And we'd be running around in the midst of this. That was the closest thing to like a true African village that I'd ever experienced, because it felt really special. But he listened to Max Roach, Charlie Parker, Miles Davis. In fact, my Christian name, Yvette, is after a sax player named Steve Getz.
You had a song named Yvette?
Yes. That's on the Getz album. I don't know which one. It's okay. I like the song after it better. So my dad was really an aficionado with jazz. And he played great drums, and he was a great dancer. My mother, on the other hand, liked her jazz, okay? But she was more into like Yema Sumac and Ella, and Sarah and some other. She liked a lot of opera, and she liked a lot of contemporary jazz, singers, and so she sang to them, and we learned a lot of those songs. We sang Doris Day, yeah. I walked down the street like a good girl should. We followed all those. We knew all those songs. So my sister and I had a wealth of information, a wealth of a category of songs, to sing. So, and we thought everyone did it. We thought everyone on Saturday mornings did the same things we did. Sang, listened to music, played, and sang along with it and stuff like that. Until something happened, and I must have asked a friend, perhaps, what are you doing Saturday? That'll do it. Or not cleaning up and singing. So that gave me the impression, I said, well, maybe that's really not. But I did not ever feel special or like I had any special gift or anything like that until I did a talent show when I was about 15 or 16, and people threw money on the stage.
Not until 15 or 16.
Right.
You thought everybody could do what you were doing.
Well, we had little talent shows, in school.
Was when
Nobody was judging who's the best. I was always the lead singer. Didn't mean anything to me. Didn't take meaning to me. until it's just us having fun. Like kids have fun. That's what they do. And we were, God lucky in Chicago to have something to do, you know, at that time. At that time, it was much cooler. But
There's certain notes that you hit and certain runs you go on that seem like they're effortless in a way that I've heard other singers come close to, but it even looks like they're really trying. I'm trying to think of, there's a moment before the final refrain of "I'm Every Woman" where you go on this run, and it sounds like, you know, heaven in your ears, but it looks like it's almost effortless. It's less effortless than maybe something in a lower register.
going to the bathroom or something like that.
I was not gonna use that.
I often use that.
And you can even think like, did I leave my oven on? But I'm taking this,
Right,
taking on this historical run, right? Is it really that easy, or you just make it look that easy, or is it really not easy? Is it that natural to you? You mentioned that you didn't know.
It is that natural to me. That's a fact. Everything is not easy. I mean, especially when I hear like a chick singing some stuff that, you know, I'm like, you know, I said, oh, I must learn this song. You know, like when the gospel girl, what's her name? Kim Burrell.
Kim Burrell. Oh, hey, it's on. Hey, y'all. Hey.
Is she here?
No.
Oh.
That's not Tony. That's Tony. Who you were looking to for the answer? You're
Tony. That's my background singer. Thank you.
Yes, I know.
When Kim Burrell came out, I almost lost my friggin' frack mind.
What was it about? What was it about her?
Because she's music. She's pure. I said, there's something got to be wrong with this woman psychologically to be singing like this. As it turns out, there is. I'm only kidding.
When you ask people, name singers, Chaka Khan, who everyone knows, and then Kim Burrell, who now people are knowing, but singers always talk about Kim Burrell, and then they drop the microphone or.
My God.
Yeah.
I learned, you know, and I was raised Catholic, so I didn't learn gospel, but I learned more gospel songs from her CD in a way that I really enjoyed it, because she's got aspects of jazz, and she's music. She is just music. And she wiped me clean for a long time, until I could get all them licks and then relick them, you know. You know.
So she's someone you studied.
And I studied her. Yes, I did. Yes, I'm studying this girl, Jasmine Sullivan. Oh. She ain't no joke. I love her. I'm not just. I am studying her. The way she's lyrics for days. I mean, she sings so conversationally. You know.
Yeah.
You know. I love her lyrics. Like, I'm gonna ride this, you know, thing till the wheel falls off. I'm gonna cuss. And if I can help it. And then there's this other song, you know. Said you gotta stay on. You gotta stay on. And nobody knows who's watching you. You know. Oh, I love that. So I played a whole CD, you know, over and over, and that's all you'll hear when I wreck my car. Or that's it.
Vocalist. You still enjoy listening to new vocalists coming out? And
I absolutely do. And when I need the food that feeds me, I put Tutu on.
Put what?
Tutu on. Miles Davis.
Oh, okay. Oh, the album Tutu. Okay.
Yes, Tomas. That's my favorite song.
Is that a sound you try to imitate in your singing? Or
No, but when I first really heard him, you know, as Miles Davis I might have been even 20. I said, listen to these notes this guy is hitting. He's playing. Here's the bass here. Here's where the bass line is. But he's on Mars. I don't know. It was just insanity and beautiful to me and unbelievable. So, gosh, he's obviously from another planet.
So
Yeah.
here's the great thing is I love hearing and being able to watch you talk about music that impresses you. It takes on a whole new aura because I think that's the way we feel about you. That's the way we feel about you when you sing and when you open your mouth. That's what it is for us. I want to thank you very, very much for joining us today. This has been
thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Anytime. All access. This is Chaka Khan, the one and only.
Thank you so much.